My wife's coworker accidentally sent me a message meant for her. Had so much fun last night. Let's do it again soon. My heart pounded as I replied. We should. But first, let's tell my husband. The three dots appeared, then vanished. That night, I set my phone on the table and said, "Want to explain this one?" Her hands trembled, because she knew. She had just been caught. I, 38 male, have been married to my wife. Let's call her Rachel, 36 female, for a little over 9 years. We live just outside of Pittsburgh, in a small town where everyone kind of knows each other, or at least knows about each other. We've had a quiet, mostly stable life. No kids. Our choice. And we've both been focused on our careers. Rachel works in marketing at a mid-sized firm downtown. Long hours sometimes, but nothing crazy. I'm in carpentry and run my own business, so I make my own hours, which meant I was usually the one cooking dinner, doing laundry, and making sure the house didn't fall apart. I never minded. I believed we were a team. A few months ago, I noticed Rachel acting differently. Nothing dramatic, just off. She started going into the other room to take calls. She started going to more happy hours with her coworkers, particularly a new guy she mentioned a few times, Chris, who had recently transferred from their Chicago office. Chris. That name didn't mean much to me at first. I'd hear her say things like, "Chris is hilarious," or "Chris came up with this wild idea today." The first few times, I brushed it off. I mean, who hasn't had a coworker they click with? But the mentions kept coming, and she started putting extra time into her appearance before work. Lipstick I hadn't seen in years. A little perfume I didn't even know she still had. New earrings. Then came the Saturday company brainstorming retreats, and when I asked if spouses were invited, she said, "Nah, it's just a work thing." Still, I didn't press. Maybe I should have. But when you love someone and trust them, you don't want to believe they'd do this to you. That they'd be one of those people. That you'd become one of these posts. Then it happened. A random Tuesday. I was home early, making dinner. She had said she was going to stay late for a client pitch. My phone buzzed. It was a message from a number I didn't recognize. It just said, "Had so much fun last night. Let's do it again soon." I froze. It didn't make sense. I stared at the message for a solid minute. My first thought was wrong number. But the tone, the emoji, it didn't feel like a mistake. So I scrolled up. There were no previous messages. Brand new thread. Something in my gut twisted. My hands actually started to sweat. I texted back, "We should. But first, let's tell my husband." The little bubble appeared right away. Typing. Then it vanished. Typing again. Then gone. I waited. 10 minutes passed. Nothing. That's when I knew. Not just suspected, knew. This message was meant for Rachel. That coworker Chris had slipped up. Maybe he was texting while distracted. Maybe he had 2 Rachels in his phone. I don't know. But he messed up, and I was the one holding the truth now. I didn't say anything right away. I couldn't. I needed to be sure. I took a screenshot. Then I started going through our shared iPad. She had left it at home. I opened messages. Nothing there. But then I remembered she had an old Apple ID still logged into iCloud on that iPad. I went into iCloud messages. My stomach dropped. There they were. Weeks of texts. Nothing graphic. They weren't idiots, but it was enough. Things like, "You make work actually fun. I missed your voice already. Last night felt so right." One even said, "He'll never know. He barely asks questions." That one hit hard. They had met up at least 3 times outside of work. Once in a hotel room near Station Square. Another time at his apartment. Yes, I looked it up. I had the address now. I kept calm. I didn't text her. I didn't call her. I didn't want to tip her off. I waited until that evening. She came home like nothing happened. She dropped her purse by the door, kissed me on the cheek, and said, "Smells good, babe." I handed her a plate. We sat down to eat. I acted normal. Asked about her day. She went on and on about meetings and how her boss was a nightmare and how she needed a break. Then, after dinner, I picked up my phone, opened the message from Chris, and set it face up on the table between us. Want to explain this one? Her fork clinked against the plate. She looked down. Read the screen. Slowly. Her face drained. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. Her hands started to shake. I didn't yell. I didn't make a scene. I just sat there and stared. Finally, she whispered, "I don't know what to say." I said, "Try the truth." She said, "I never meant to hurt you." I said, "You didn't mean to get caught. either. That's where I'm at right now. I haven't kicked her out. Yet. I haven't called Chris. Yet. I haven't told her family or mine. Yet. I needed to write this down. To see it in front of me. To know I'm not going crazy. I'm not looking for advice right this second. I think I just needed to let it out. But I'm not done. Not even close. She didn't speak after that. She just sat there, staring at the message. Her eyes went glassy. I could see the panic setting in. Her breathing changed quick, shallow. Like she was caught in a trap and trying to figure out which way to run. But I didn't move. I let the silence hang between us, heavy like cement. Finally, she said, "Can we talk about this somewhere else? Not at the dinner table." I stood up, grabbed her wine glass, dumped it in the sink. "No. We talk about it now." She flinched at my tone. Good. Because I hadn't raised my voice, not yet, but my patience was hanging by a thread. She got up slowly and walked to the living room. I followed. She sat down on the edge of the couch, like she wasn't sure if she was allowed to be there anymore. "I don't know how to start," she said. "Try the beginning." I snapped. "How long?" Her lips parted, but again, no sound. I leaned forward. "I saw the texts, Rachel. I saw all of them. Don't lie. I want facts." She swallowed hard. 3 months. 3 months. 3 months of her coming home, looking me in the eye, kissing me goodnight, while sneaking off with someone else. 3 months of telling me she had meetings or work trips or late deadlines, while this guy was. I clenched my jaw. "Where?" I asked. "Where did you sleep with him?" She hesitated. "Say it," I demanded. "His apartment. And once at that hotel near Station Square," she said, barely above a whisper. I nodded. That matched what I found. "Why?" I asked. "What did I do? What was I missing?" Her voice cracked. "It wasn't you. I swear, it wasn't you." "Then who the hell was it?" I snapped. "I don't know," she said, crying now. "I didn't plan it. It just happened. We were working late, talking all the time. One night we had drinks after a pitch, and he kissed me. I should have stopped it. I didn't." I stood up. I couldn't sit anymore. My body was shaking, not with fear, not with sadness, with rage. But I still didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I just paced the room, breathing hard. Then came the twist. She said, "There's more." I turned slowly. "What?" "He told me he loved me last week." I froze. And I told him. I didn't know how I felt. "You didn't know how you felt?" I repeated. "You're married. You took vows. What's not to know?" I was confused. No, confused is not knowing if you want Chinese or Italian for dinner. This is betrayal. She started crying harder, trying to speak through the sobs. I was lost. "We've been distant. You've been so quiet lately, always working on the house or your business." I threw my hands up. "I was quiet because I thought things were good. I didn't know I had to perform for you 24/7 to keep your attention." Then she said something I'll never forget. "He's not the first." My mind stopped. Just stopped. I stared at her, trying to understand the words. "What did you just say?" She covered her face. "There was someone else. 2 years ago. Just once. A client from a conference." I sat down. I felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. Like I'd been punched in the gut, but couldn't react. "And you never told me." She shook her head. I was ashamed. I thought I could bury it. I wanted to forget. But instead, I said slowly, "You doubled down. And you lied. Every single day." She didn't deny it. I couldn't speak. My mind was racing. Every memory now had a shadow behind it. Every smile, every "I love you." Every date night, tainted. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in my truck, in the driveway, staring out at the dark street. I just couldn't be in that house with her. That morning, she texted me. "Can we talk?" I ignored it. Then my phone buzzed again. New number. Unknown. It was him. "Chris, I'm so sorry, man. I didn't mean for this to happen. I thought she was leaving you." I stared at the screen. My hands clenched. He was texting me, like we were going to talk it out. I typed back, "Don't ever contact me again, or I'll come find you." He didn't reply, but I wasn't done. That day, I showed the messages to my brother, to my best friend, people close to us. I needed to know if I was losing it, if I was overreacting. They all said the same thing. "She played you." Now here's the part that's still unfolding. Rachel's company is about to launch a new campaign. A huge one. The one she and Chris had been working on together for months. Guess what? They just got a new client. My company. I'm about to be her biggest account. and she doesn't even know it yet. So I didn't answer Rachel's messages that day. She must have sent 10. I ignored them all. Instead, I set up a meeting with my business partner, Drew. I told him everything. Showed him the texts, the messages, the screenshots. He was shocked. Man, this is next level. I said, you remember that new marketing deal we were considering? He nodded. The one with that downtown firm? Yeah, I said. Guess who's heading the pitch team? His eyes widened. No way. I nodded. Rachel. And her little boyfriend. His face changed. Are we still going through with it? Oh yeah, I said. But not for the reason you think. I wasn't going to back out. I wanted to sit in front of her. At that pitch table. As a client. And I wanted her to feel the weight of what she did. Not in private. Not in whispers. But in the room she thought she owned. 2 days later, the meeting was set. The conference room was on the 11th floor of their office building. Modern, glass everything, sleek furniture, all that. I walked in with Drew. She didn't know I was coming. I wish I could bottle the look on her face when she saw me sitting there, across the table. She blinked. Her mouth opened slightly. Her voice caught when she tried to say my name. Chris was right behind her. He didn't recognize me, yet. Rachel stammered. We weren't expecting. I cut her off. Let's keep this professional, Rachel. Chris looked between us, confused. Then it clicked. I watched the color drain from his face. He whispered something to her, but she didn't respond. I leaned back in my chair, crossed my arms, and smiled. Let's hear your pitch. They tried. God, did they try. But she couldn't look me in the eye. Her hands were shaking the whole time. Chris fumbled through the slides like a rookie. It was painful to watch. Afterward, Drew and I left without saying much. The next day, I sent an email. We'll be going with another agency. Simple. Clean. Cold. Then came another twist. Later that night, I got a call from an unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. I listened to it right after. It was Rachel's boss. Hi, this is Dana from Milson & Hart. I think we need to talk. I called back. She was polite. Very professional. But then she dropped the bomb. We've been hearing rumors internally about an inappropriate relationship between Rachel and Chris. I wanted to ask, off the record, if there's anything we should know. I paused. Then I said, I have text messages. I have dates. I have proof they were meeting during work hours. In hotels. In apartments. You name it. She was silent for a second. Would you be willing to forward that to me? I said, why should I? And that's when she revealed something I didn't expect. Chris isn't just her coworker, she said. He's been under investigation already. HR's been watching him since the Chicago office. There were 2 separate complaints filed against him, both mysteriously withdrawn. I said nothing. She added, if we can confirm this behavior continued here, and if it involves someone in a supervisory position, it changes everything. Rachel could be implicated in a cover-up. I paused, then said, I'll think about it. I hung up. Now I had a new kind of power in my hands. This wasn't just personal anymore. It could ruin her career. Later that night, Rachel showed up at the house. I hadn't told her to come. But there she was, standing in the doorway with tears in her eyes, holding a box of things, photos, cards, little keepsakes from our years together. I don't want to lose everything, she said. I didn't invite her in. She stood on the porch for 15 minutes, talking, rambling, apologizing, crying. I know I hurt you, but please don't destroy me. I looked at her. You already did that. I'm just standing in the ruins. She left the box on the porch and walked away. And now I'm here, sitting with evidence that could cost her more than just a marriage. But here's the truth that really messes with me. A week ago, I started getting messages from an unknown Instagram account. No profile pic. No name. The first message just said, she's not who you think she is. Then, Chris isn't either. Then, check the bank statements. That one made my skin crawl. Because I did. And there was a charge from 3 weeks ago. $642. From a jewelry store downtown. I never got a gift. So now I'm thinking, was he planning to leave me? Or was she planning to leave him? Or was there someone else involved entirely? There's more to this. And I don't think I've hit the bottom yet. The next morning, I called Dana back, the boss. I'll send the screenshots, I said. Her voice was calm. Thank you. I'll handle this discreetly. And just like that, I hit send. The proof, the messages, the timestamps. Everything. A day later, it exploded. Rachel was pulled into HR that afternoon. Chris, too. She texted me from their parking garage. Rachel, What did you do? Me. What you made me do. She didn't reply. That evening, I got a knock on the door. I thought she might show up again. Maybe try the tears, the box of memories routine. But it wasn't her. It was her sister, Megan. We'd always gotten along okay. She was the only one in Rachel's family I actually liked. Megan came in, set her purse down, crossed her arms, and said, "What the hell is happening?" So I told her. Everything. I didn't sugarcoat a single thing. I showed her the messages, told her about the hotel, the affair from 2 years ago, the Instagram account, the jewelry receipt. She was quiet for a long time. Then she said, "You need to come to Mom's birthday party on Sunday." I blinked. Why would I show up at that disaster? Because she's bringing Chris. I stared at her. She's what? Megan nodded slowly. She's still in denial. She says you ambushed her at work, ruined her job because you couldn't handle her success. She's trying to spin this like you were controlling. My blood boiled. You're kidding me. I wish I was. So I made a choice. I went. Sunday afternoon. Suburb north of Pittsburgh. Her mom's house was packed, cousins, friends, coworkers, people I hadn't seen in months. Everyone was buzzing about the campaign Rachel's firm just lost, but they didn't know the real reason. Then she walked in. With him. Chris. They were holding hands. It was like I'd entered some twisted alternate universe. People turned. Whispered. One of her cousins raised an eyebrow at me like, "Are you seeing this too?" I waited. I waited until the cake was served. The small talk was slowing. The wine was flowing. Then I stood up and clinked my glass. "I just want to say something." The room quieted. All eyes turned. Rachel's face went pale. Chris set down his fork. "I just want to thank Rachel," I said, looking directly at her. "For 9 years of marriage. For all the love. The laughs. And especially for the hotel receipts, the messages with her coworker, and for confirming this afternoon that she was cheating 2 years ago, too." Dead silence. Her aunt gasped. Someone dropped a fork. Chris stood up. "That's enough, man." "No," I snapped. "You had your turn. This is mine." I turned to the room. "You all know Rachel. You think she's strong, confident, maybe even loyal. But I've been sleeping next to a stranger for years. A stranger who lied to my face, told me I was imagining things while she was sneaking around with him." Her mother stood up. "This isn't the place." I held up a hand. "I agree. But since they made it the place, showing up together, I figured it was fair game." Rachel was frozen. She wasn't crying. She wasn't yelling. She looked cracked. Megan was near the kitchen, shaking her head slowly. Chris pulled her by the arm. "We're leaving." But I wasn't done. "One last thing," I said. "That campaign your firm lost? It was mine. I was the client. I saw your presentation. You couldn't even look at me. And now you're out of a job, Rachel. Because HR has the texts. They know. You lied, broke policy, and dragged your affair across state lines." Rachel finally snapped. "You vindictive bastard." I nodded. "No, just the guy you underestimated." And they left, stormed out without another word. Megan stayed behind. She hugged me, whispered, "Thank you," and offered to help clean up the mess, literally and figuratively. It's been 3 months. Rachel lost her job. Chris was reassigned to a desk job in another city. No idea if they're still together. Don't care. I filed for divorce a week after the party. The papers are signed now. We split the assets. No kids made it cleaner. Still messy, though? The kind of emotional mess you don't just wipe away. I had good days and bad ones. The betrayal hits in waves. Some mornings I wake up and wonder if it was all a dream. Some nights I replay every conversation, every moment she said, "I love you," trying to figure out if she meant it at all. Friends checked in. My brother took me fishing the weekend after the blow-up. We didn't even talk about it. Just sat in silence with the rods. It helped. I started therapy, too. First time in my life. The therapist said something that stuck. "You didn't cause this. You discovered it. That matters." I still drive past the office building where she used to work. I don't know if it's closure or habit, but I don't stop anymore. I'm not angry anymore. Not in that sharp, white-hot way. I'm more tired. Sad sometimes. Relieved other times. I know I'm better off. But healing doesn't come in one wave. It comes in little cracks that let the light in slowly. If you're reading this and going through something similar, here's what I'll say. Trust your gut. Be still when you need to. Speak loud when it matters. And don't lose yourself trying to hold on to someone who already let go of you. I'm not sure what comes next. But I know this. I'm not broken, just rebuilding, piece by piece. And this time for me,